The AFC is all but locked up this week, but the NFC still has a lot of questions. Will any of those questions be answered this week? Let's find out. Week 16 football. It feels like forever since this game was played, but it did happen and it was pretty entertaining. Thursday Night Football had quite the game with a back and forth scoring early on and a 57-yard field goal by Dicker the kicker. There was an egregious no call by the refs on an obvious pass interference, but that's been buried by just how explosive this game was. There was an incredible 2-point conversion play by Palmer to put the Chargers up in the fourth, and after that, the Broncos had no chance. Sean Payton essentially laid down and took the L with a late field goal. Mahomes' ankle? Miraculously, it was healed by the team shaman. It carried him over the goal line for a rushing touchdown early on. I knew that this was going to happen, and it'll probably happen again. CJ Stroud led a nice drive capped off with a Dalton Schultz touchdown. The Chiefs did respond with a rushing touchdown by Hunt. It's days like today that I really miss him on the Browns. Stroud threw 2 pretty bad interceptions today, but he didn't let off the gas. He threw a great ball to Tank Dell. But unfortunately on the way down, some friendly fire took out Dell's knee. He's going to be out for the season. The Texans couldn't get back into the game after that. Stroud just didn't seem too confident throwing the ball in the second half. It's a bit of a hollow victory for the Chiefs, but still a victory. The second game on Saturday starts off with the Ravens, who aren't holding their balls well today with 2 fumbles early on. But the good news is that Henry seems to have his aura back. After what feels like forever, Isaiah Likely scores a touchdown. Russell Wilson. An open field and running as fast as his wide Vladimir Putin old meme legs can take him. Loses the ball at the goal line. The Ravens quickly score after that, this time the Bateman. The teams would trade field goals, but the Ravens would start to pull away as Mark Andrews grabs another touchdown. Especially after a pick 6 by Humphrey. It's a vintage Broncos Russell Wilson performance. The Ravens perch on top of the division and get their spot in the playoffs. The Browns will not ruin my day. Fumbled at the goal line. Okay. The Browns will not ruin my day. Incredible Burrow pass to Higgins for a touchdown. The Browns will not ruin my day. The Bengals defense, they're showing up today. The Browns will not ruin my day. The Bengals tight end, Iosiva, gets a touchdown. The Browns will not ruin my day. Cade York hits a 59-yard field goal. The Browns will not ruin my day. Jerome Ford touchdown, but we missed the extra point. The Browns will not ruin my day. DTR throws a pick. The Browns will not ruin my day. DTR throws another pick. The Browns will not ruin my day. Touchdown, Jamar Chase. The Browns will not ruin my day. The Bengals win. They ruined my day.
You are a factory of sadness!
This game was so out of reach for the Bears that neither team scored in the fourth quarter. A few field goals, a 82-yard bomb for Williams, and Amon-Ra St. Brown tutty, and a Laporta fake fumble touchdown pass put this away early. Sure, Caleb and the Bears had some things going, but seems like they're ready for hibernation. Barkley is back, baby, and he starts off with a nice run for a touchdown. Later on, he would run 68 yards to the house. Jalen Hurts, he unfortunately went out with a concussion, so the weight was on the shoulders of Kenny Pickett. He entered the game and threw a nice ball to A.J. Brown for a touchdown. It was a pretty great defensive effort for most of the game, but the floodgates would open in the fourth with 2 Commanders' touchdowns. The silly Eagles thought that a few field goals would make the difference. Jaden Daniels, he laughs in the face of field goals. He leads an MVP caliber drive down the field and throws a dart to Crowder for the touchdown. The running back gets the 2-point conversion, and the Commanders run away with the victory. Sure, there's a bit of an asterisk on this because Hurts was out, but I don't think Hurts plays safety for the Eagles, or defensive end, or corner, and there was one point in this game where the Colts were leading 38-7. 38-7. The grave was dug for the Toons, but much like the Tasmanian Devil, they spun this game around and almost ended up winning. Tajay Spears would show his potential, getting 2 touchdowns. The Toons would also hit on both of their 2-point conversions. But Rudolph, the punchable face quarterback, would try, and emphasis on the word try, to lead a game-winning drive. But he threw an interception to end the game. It's Michael Penix Jr. time for the Falcons. He wouldn't have to do much to win this one because, well, you know, it's the Giants. Drew Lock would have a terrible game throwing 2, and count them on fingers, 1, 2 pick sixes. He really shafted them in this game, but conspiracy theory time, maybe that was the plan. The Giants, with this loss, have the number 1 spot in the draft right now. They are in pole position to grab any player they desire, most likely a quarterback. Ooh, don't fuck this up, Giants. Like a certain other team. It's another toilet bowl. Oh yeah, baby. I love watching unwatchable football. This is a game that you want to lose. Why? Because you'll screw yourself out of a higher draft position. Look, when there's this many bad teams in the NFL as this year has been, you need to scheme this way. The Giants did it, and now the Jaguars, they do it too. The Raiders are so happy that they won, but at what cost? They are now below the Browns in the draft, while the Jaguars stay pretty high. Folks, this was a game that was so bad that neither team scored in the last 10 minutes of the game. And I'll do you one better. Neither team scored until the final minute of the first quarter. And I'll do you one even better. Neither team scored until the final seconds of the third quarter. A toilet bowl for the ages. Jets. What does that spell? Just everything sucks? It looked like the Jets were going to have a decent game. The Rams couldn't get much going early on, and Aaron Rodgers linked up with Davante Adams for a touchdown early on. The second quarter would be pretty quiet with a Kyren Williams touchdown run and a Jets field goal, but after that, not much would happen until the fourth quarter when Tyler Higbee caught his first touchdown catch of the season. This was a slog of a game, but the Rams would come out on top, and the Jets, well, they're stuck on the tarmac. The cards were on the table. They were in control of their own destiny. All they would have to do was beat a Panthers team who just lost to the Cowboys in a grandiose fashion. It's a lose-and-you're-out scenario for them. The pressure must have been too high, though. This game was close for the most part, but it would be the Cardinals who would have to tie the game and put it into overtime. They had so many opportunities, so many chances throughout this game, but in overtime, they would get a grand total of -7 yards and then let the Panthers go down the field and hand it off to Hubbard for the game-winning touchdown run. Goodbye, Cardinals. I hardly knew you. The Seahawks are hurting. They need a win desperately, but they aren't out of it yet. The Vikings, they want to take over that number 1 position from the Lions, who unfortunately already won today. And to do that, they would have to skull harder than ever before. The game starts with a touchdown pass to Addison. Geno Smith would respond in the second quarter with a touchdown pass to DK Metcalf. JJ would get a touchdown as well, followed by a Vikings field goal. It would be Jackson Smith-Njigba who would get the final touchdown and bring it into halftime. The Vikings were fighting to stay in the lead, but a pass to A.J. Barner would put the Seahawks up. It would come down to another J.J. touchdown catch and a Vikings defensive stand for the win. This game was weird. The Pats looked totally dominant in the first few quarters until Josh Allen decided to wake up. Oh, and don't forget about Cooks. The two of them helped get the team back on their feet, aided by a lost ball in the end zone jumped on by the Bills defense. The Bills squeezed out a victory with a field goal, but the Patriots, their fans should be pretty excited about the future. I mean, Drake May hasn't looked bad at all, and he just needs a few more parts around him. Baker and the Butts. Baker and the Bucks just didn't seem in this one. Maybe it was the excessive amount of butter that was slathered onto the ball? I don't know. They seem to be dropping them balls like crazy, though. Sure, some of them weren't ruled as fumbles in the end, but it definitely was an issue today. The Cowboys, they love to win late in the season. It would be their defense, though, that would get them the win today, punching balls out and getting one hell of an interception. The Bucks did make it close. The ensuing final drive of the game, though, was embarrassing, as Baker flipped it to Bucky Irving, who then lost the ball on the way down, and it was recovered by the defense for the win. What is there really to say about this game? The Saints got completely walloped, ransacked, just torn up and down the field. This would be the first total shutout of the season, and it definitely looked like it. Packers get a dominating win, and the Saints, they go marching home.